Hello and welcome to Spitfire Season 2, Episode 9. This episode doesn't actually cover the current game or the current esports setup. So we are moving forward into the future for this one because Modern Warfare has just been revealed. My name is Brice, bringing you through the topics of today, most of which are revolving around the same thing, the game. Tunn, of course, joining me here, doing as usual in the background. And returning, more importantly, our guests for this week, regular Reedy has returned. Reedy, how are you?
Buzzing, mate. Can't wait for the new game, you know. It's my year. Hashtag 2019, hashtag 2020.
All right. So a few things. One, I'm wearing a hat because Jim and I didn't have time to do my hair before I come on, so tough. That's why I haven't got a new bonnet and I haven't shaved my head. No.
Reveal it, dude, for all of our 40 viewers.
No, I will not. But apart from that, I was going to say congratulations to United, but we've already covered that episode. Reedy's maybe going into a bit of a tailspin with how we brought our previous conversation up, because if you are watching this now on the YouTube VOD, we do go live for about 5 minutes before we actually start the episode, just kind of chatting regular rubbish. So if you do fancy tuning in live, help yourself. Okay, so let's kind of jump straight into this one. Modern Warfare was revealed. The multiplayer was revealed just last night, which is why we didn't do an episode then, mainly because it went on for 4 hours or something.
I mean, the plan was, I did see that it was supposed to be the live gameplay was between, I think it was 6 and 8. So I was like, okay, well, we can go live after the live gameplay, because then it'll be dev questions. And yeah, okay, they probably were important, but at the same time, we could have talked about it, could have brought in things once they were going on. And then it turned out it it lasted until about, I think it was 11:45 over here or something. So yeah, it was pretty. It was bad timing to try and get it done last night, essentially. So here we are.
Yeah,
it was long.
It was very, very long.
It's usually not that long though, is it? It's usually, I mean,
it's like an hour or two.
It's usually a half an hour, if that. Yeah. Most of the time. So
yeah, it usually is about there. All right, so where to start? I suppose we start roughly where they started. Night vision is back. There are, in fact, night modes. And if you're, a member of our colleagues on the old talent team, you're very excited about the actual night vision goggles in dark mode. I know I want some. For no reason, I couldn't figure out a single reason why I would ever use them, but I want them. And obviously, they're now tied into the game.
They're very much something I don't need or... I was going to say don't need or want. I sort of do want them, but I think, what is it, like £150 for the...
I think it was $200, which very well could just be 200 quid. It doesn't always...
Game are selling it.
Are they?
I think it's 150 quid. I'm out of luck. Game...
169 quid, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
159? I don't fucking remember.
Technically, this is the second time as well. I mean, not only is it the second time they've launched Modern Warfare, it's the second time with the night vision goggles. Like, wasn't last time Modern Warfare 2? I believe someone pointed out.
I don't know. I'm not a loser that buys night vision goggles. Fucking bouncing around my house wearing fucking goggles.
Really. If you had some though, you'd wear them, wouldn't you?
Oh, I wouldn't.
You would though, mate, wouldn't you? You'd fire on your webcam right now. You'd already be wearing them.
Oh, so the only time I'd wear them was just Callum Swan was wearing them in a fucking rave. Shuffling.
His head around the phone.
That's the only reason I would put night vision goggles on, was to see Callum Swan shuffling in a rave.
So, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Dark Edition from Game, an exclusive through Game in this country, is £180.
Yeah, see, I said it doesn't trickle down very much. It's usually roughly about the same price.
Yeah.
Swan, come on. Yeah, Callum Swan's in the old chat. Swan, by the way, if you want to jump in, because I know Callum Swan watched yesterday the reveal, so he knows just as much as we do. And so if he fancies jumping in, let us know, Swan. But let's talk about this. The reason I want to bring this up, and this episode is going to be a little bit loose and fast on how we discuss this game, because it's always related to the esports side of it. But at the same time, it's difficult for us to judge until we get the settings right, until we get the maps we're playing, and until we get our hands on it. But dark mode or night vision maps for comp, where do we touch base on that?
Alright, so you ever fucking get yourself on wet work, turn your brightness all the way down and just fucking whack on the night vision goggles? Because I did. It's fucking great.
I mean, it was one thing I always wanted in Modern Warfare, like the original COD 4, was like, yeah, you've given us these night vision goggles, but for the most part, they're pretty useless.
I used to turn my brightness all the way down, especially in like I was playing GBs and that on hardcore. Turn my brightness all the way down and then just turn the night vision on. Just get vibey with it, you know. To be honest with you, it's probably a shit idea for comp.
Yeah, potentially, but it was one of those things where
Is it though? But why?
Why?
Because I couldn't think of really any arguments against it. Here's the only argument the only argument I could think of is that it may be more difficult for viewers to break down because it will be monochrome. That's it. Like that's the only argument I can think. You know, we talked about wanting COD on colourful maps and vibrant gameplay, and then we're all running around with green goggles on. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, it might not be.
It would
that
be
easy
horrible
to
to play. Literally horrible. Imagine having to scrim like 3 sets a night, and then at least at the very least, if there's one map in there, you've got to play that for 30 minutes just looking at green. Like horrible, no.
What about an S&D map though? Like an S&D, like S&D at the night.
There was things on like Downpour, right? There was dark corners on Downpour on COD 4 where sometimes I used to play hardcore, so I'm a little gimp. Sometimes I'd flick the night vision on and off.
Yeah, I've done that.
To check the dark corners that you can't really see because like on COD 4 there were suits. Like if you wasn't Spetsnaz, you was the SAS, like you would be in a blacked out suit. You could sit in a corner, just be chilling, and you wouldn't really be able to see them unless you fixed your night vision on. There was some pipeline, like so. I mean, it just depends really on how you could utilize it, but weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I am not against any of that. I'm not against night mode. I am very curious. I think we'll see it as well. It's too big of
I have no idea what night mode is.
I'm calling it night mode. It's just basically the maps are dark, so you put night vision on. That's all. I don't know if there's
you actually have to run night vision the whole map.
I don't think you do. It's
there was
flickable.
you don't. I mean, like it is flickable, but
you run it basically.
Like you can't see otherwise. But the bit that we seen on the main stream when they were playing it for the most part was the what was it? What did they call it? The mode. It was like hardcore essentially. Like no HUD or anything like that.
Wasn't it realism mode or something?
That was it. So it was no HUD, no hit markers, no nothing. It was literally like a sim. So I don't think that will be included. I think that is just going to be one of those things, especially with the way that they said it. They were like, "Oh, okay, you know, like if you love it, great. If you don't, that's fine. It's just something different." For
See, the
that
thing is,
reason,
my
I don't
issue
think
with
that'll be
everything, Tanya, when they bring realism mode in and hardcore, if you go back onto COD 4, I'm not even joking, a vast majority of people preferred hardcore.
I mean, I was a hardcore player. Back
everyone
in
that
GB days,
picked up COD 4 and stuff, they wanted to play hardcore because it was none of that fucking spongy bullshit. Oh, it was taking 150 bullets to kill someone. Everyone liked the shooting someone once and them dying, right? That's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with hardcore, and my friends from school fell in love with hardcore. We would only play hardcore. There was only like a small majority of people that I knew that actually played core, which obviously in the grand scheme of things is a big lie.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, no, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a big lie, and probably core player base was much higher. Yeah. But like, there is like, it's gonna split again. Like, people are gonna be playing that realism game mode. You got your older people and like pushing over 30 and that want to pick up COD again. They'll go straight to realism game mode because they like the realism aspect of it. Like, you think you're in more and stuff like that. It's weird as fuck.
Yeah, it's one of those where it will be slower just because of the fact you have little to no information as to where anybody is. I mean,
it's interesting. So let's talk about this, right? Because we're talking about going back into the franchise. Now, there's two diverging paths here about what Reedy just said. One is, going to war. Obviously, there is the new ground war mode, which is huge, and obviously not that related to comps. Let's get that out of the way first. They showed a 20v20 game, I think, yesterday, but I've looked at apparently 50 versus 50 is possible.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's going to be insane.
Now, doesn't that make you think?
All
right. Yeah, no, it doesn't make me think necessarily that.
There was a zoom out they did yesterday that looked a little bit like it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's been some comparisons, but it's a first-person shooter. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter set in war with a big map. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean, so Battlefield. Yeah, I don't know if they have if it's something to do with BR potentially coming in. I don't know if it's like It sort of
that rumor was around,
and that guy that was making the rumors has been pretty spot on. So I don't know if this is what it was, and then they just sort of said, fuck it, no, don't do that," or they are maybe gearing up for it, but it's not quite ready.
See, my issue was with BRs, like, Blackout had so much potential. So much potential.
We could have a full episode about that.
Yeah, and it just nothing got done with it, like, so I don't see why they would go down that avenue again.
It depends. I think there's a lot of things.
It's just the cycle of the games. It's just, you can't really do much with a BR in a year.
And as well, we know that Treyarch have had to sort of start making the game earlier and shit after Sledgehammer got... So there is that as well, which you could say is maybe potentially an excuse for it. But yeah, they haven't necessarily made the most of the opportunity that they had with Blackout, I feel. And that's
I still like it. They just keep
I
removing
still
it.
like it, but
They keep removing Hot Pursuit, which is something I don't like.
It's an issue. It's a big issue. Hot Pursuit's the best. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Let's talk about the Ground War mode. I imagine that there'll probably be some sort of giant pro game on that at some point.
It's a casual thing.
I can't see like there not being a game where they just go, right, let's just set how many, what is it? There's 12, supposed to be 12 teams next year. Let's just put them both on each side, 30v30, maybe include the subs, make it 40v40, and just go at it.
What is the 12 franchise teams? Oh, is that it?
Well, that's what the number they want.
Yeah, that's what the rumors come out as, because at the moment there's 7 announced, so 5 left.
Oh dear.
So I think I could probably see it happening at some point, just as an exhibition. It would be a laugh, Maybe like how they did the Pro League this year with the conferences.
Yeah,
they could do that Ground War. They could easily do that Ground War. Just for an exhibition. I don't think it would mean anything, but it would be a laugh.
Yeah, but saying that, I thought they were going to use Blackout like that this year, and they didn't.
They did Blackout After Dark a few times. It's just
maybe not as much as I thought they were. I thought they were honestly going to go in on that, but
yeah, but there are reasons for that.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. More important though, moving away from Ground War, because Ground War isn't, while it's cool and all that, it isn't obviously as important to us in the esports side of it. And yes, face it, that's what people are here for. New engine this year, brand new engine. Looks very different. Looks more detailed than most maps I've seen in Call of Duty. A lot more shit on the ground, a lot more foliage, lots of kind of like textures on the map, and it still looks pretty colourful. So how do we think? Also, everything looks like it handles differently. Yeah. Not as bad as when I first saw it, but because it still looks pretty smooth, and up close it still looks like COD.
I think
my biggest thing on that is a PS4 Pro going to be able to handle it.
I mean, I think so.
You'd hope so, right? But then you got to think it's cross-play. People on PC is going to be a lot smoother for them.
I don't think they would make it if it couldn't. Surely you would think it's like.
Hold on, what was that game that literally couldn't run on old gen? It was a game. I think it was Ghost. It literally could not run on a PS3. It was awful on the PS3. Yeah, like really, really bad on a PS3.
I know a lot of players upgraded this year to the PS Pro, especially for things like Blackout.
But
I'm curious. I think it'd still be okay.
I'm just saying that's just one of my things. The new engine's always scary.
But here's the thing. I like the look of the new engine. I saw recoil and shit there in some of the guns. Some of them still got that usual, blip, blip, you're dead sort of thing. But it seemed like there was more real. And here's the issue. I don't know how much that is the players we were watching and the attachments they were using versus the actual guns. Because some of them are better than others, right? Like, Shroud was always going to be better than some. Teep's going to be better than some Gataga. The others, honestly, if some of them ever played COD before, it would genuinely surprise me. And I don't think some of them would ever play COD when it comes out because, that's just not their bag. They're streamers. But, they were shit. They were not good.
I mean, I saw Syndicate ripping people off head glitches left and right.
Syndicate's always been good at COD.
Yeah.
Do you know the best COD YouTuber, like the super casual COD YouTubers, is Ali A?
Yeah. Was he there?
Like, Yeah, no, he wasn't there this time, which was surprising because normally they deal with him for a lot of their stuff. But he's been rocking Fortnite so much.
I was going to say, well, that doesn't seem to matter when you've seen the lineup. Let's be honest.
But I mean, some of them were pretty good.
Another one of my biggest things is like people like the actual thoughts of the game. Right, it doesn't look like a Call of Duty to me.
I think a lot of people worried about that. But I don't think it's necessarily a totally bad thing.
No, it's not.
I think that we've needed something. I don't say we needed something new, but it needs something else at the minute. It
needs a bit more. It's like
they
I
were
said
saying
before we went live, is like with AW, right? If that game wasn't called Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, a lot more people would have enjoyed it. Because looking back on AW, it was a decent game. It just wasn't a COD. That's how I see it anyway. It just wasn't really a Call of Duty.
That was a bigger transition than what we're getting now. That was
120%.
Oh yeah, that game was insane. So one of these things I always try to remain positive about new COD games, but I can never. My mind is never made up until I first get my hands on the game, and I always know whether or not we're in for a good year by how I feel when I first play the game. There are some games that have just not gone well, and I knew it from the second I touched it that it wasn't going to be as popular. AW was a bit of a weird one for me though, because I really liked the movement in the first 6 months, and then after the first 6 months, I really didn't like it. I went from thinking it was great and jetting around the map to absolutely detesting the game, and hating just how hectic and snappy bullshit I thought it was.
I liked watching and commentating it. I didn't.
Oh yeah, it was great for that.
It was one of those. I think it's just the first jetpack game, wasn't it? So it's when that sort of thing comes in, it's such a big transition. Whereas I don't think this necessarily is as big. It's different. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of what some of the YouTubers were saying, and I think it was Syndicate that said that, which made me think, okay, well, it must be true. I don't think he would. I don't want to say he wouldn't bullshit, because I suppose it's a PR thing. You sort of get told what to say to a point, I'd imagine. But he was saying this does feel like COD, and I think he would know with how much the years of experience he's had playing, etc., etc. So
it seems like they've gone for this weird combo though, Tunn. So and they said it. This is the bit that got me, right, because they said it, and I don't know how many people picked up on this. They said up close, it's still going to feel like COD. It's still going to feel like the normal game. He goes, but as we scale it for longer range engagements, it's going to feel different with the bullet projectiles and all of that. And that just made me think of how Blackout runs, where if you're running around with a SORG in firing range, still feels very much like COD, the up close personal thing. But when you get into those long range gunfights, it does feel like more like PUBG or something sometimes, although it's still faster. But I think people who worried about that, for me, it felt a little bit more like Blackout must feel, with more, kind of realism and better shaders and all the textures that come in from the new game, and a bit more recoil. So I'm not too worried about that aspect of it. I'm sure that the community's going to be divided on what kind of mode they want to play, because those big battles do look fun.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny it.
It's something different, isn't it? And we'll see how it plays out. But it's like that thing that if you want to chill, like if I'm playing League play and things are going terrible, which 9 times out of 10 they are, then I'll go and play Blackout. Like, it's one of these things where you're playing League play, you're not feeling it. Let's go and play against 20 other people instead. Let's go and chill. It's one of those things where even competitive players are going to be able to maybe take a step in and sort of say, all right, okay, we're just here for a little chill. And it is a bit more like that. It seems a lot more relaxed. But it is something very different. And I suppose like the difference between Blackout and standard Black Ops 4 is obviously the projectiles, etc. But now that projectiles are coming in full circle now, the whole game, like these, not just hit scan. That's something new, and that's something a lot of people are going to have to get used to. But I know it's a completely different engine, different developer, but based on Blackout, that felt all right on Blackout to a point when you're leading and everything.
It did feel good on Blackout.
So I'm not concerned about that. Whereas I've seen some people that are a bit like, ooh. Whereas I'm okay with that. Like, why is it going to be an issue?
Yeah, I think. Kind of what Reedy said. I think you have to accept that COD is evolving, and it has to, right? We can't keep playing the same game, because we're playing a different game every year. If we're going to evolve, we might as well do it properly. We're always looking for the same thing. There's good maps, good balance, decent gameplay with no cheese. That's what we want. That's what we want every single year. It's the same formula every single year that we want, but it's a different game that tries to deliver it. So having a different game doesn't really matter. Let's just find out if it's good. Speaking of big games, though, I have noticed we've gone back to 6v6 in pubs.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, to be honest with you.
For me, I'm positive about that.
But see, Reedy brought this up in the pre-show. He said, "What happens if comp goes to 6v6? Because the whole idea of 5v5, one of the reasons given was shrinking the gap between casual and comp, and now it's gone back up. Do we go up again?"
I mean, the way I look at it, to be honest with you, is it's a big contradiction. If they said, "Oh, we're doing 5v5 for the greater good," it's going to be called comp, it's going to bridge the gap, it's going to make it easier, and then the very next year it goes back to 6v6, and it's just like, well, why did we even bother moving to 5v5? We should have just stayed at 4v4. Like, really? Which a lot of the players right now would prefer. I don't care what a lot of the pro players would have been like, yeah, why didn't we stay at 4v4? I mean, if it goes to 6v6, it goes to 6v6. If it stays at 5v5, it stays at 5v5. But it's just a big, weird one where it's like, why did we even change from 4v4? Because I'm not even joking. I played a couple tournaments on Black Ops 4 where it was 4v4, and it generally just felt better. I'm not even lying to you. It just felt better than 5v5.
I have a theory. I do have a theory about why. While casual has gone back, I think because they've input all these new projectiles and the bigger maps for 20v20 and all this sort of stuff, I think it's gone back up because the maps are bigger. I think they've basically made the scale considerably larger than it has been before. And I think if you're in casual mode, and you know how casual players play. You get the guy who sits and does nothing, another guy hiding with a shotgun, and somebody's trying to snipe off a bloody ladder every 3 seconds. Well, the map may have felt empty in the casual mode. In comp, it never feels empty, right? Because the game isn't spread out across the entire map. It's always concentrated in several key areas. So no matter what happens in comp, it's never going to feel like an empty map because the players are always going to be there in that certain area. You know where the players are going to be.
No, but then again, there's a big counter argument to that, Brice.
Yeah,
S&D. Maps are bigger, yet you're saying 5v5, yet there's going to be open lanes left, right, and center. There's only so many lanes someone can watch in the map.
Well, didn't they say 3 lanes symmetrical still? So it's still going to be like 3 lanes. It's just going to be a bit bigger.
Yeah, they were trying to stay away. They said 3 lanes symmetrical to a point, I think. I think at the beginning they were saying we're trying to move away from just typical 3 lanes, like down left, right, and middle. They were trying to base it around 3 lanes to a point.
Well, one of the maps I saw where there was like people were jumping on barrels and there was that little head glitch, and it was a map where Syndicate ripped 2 people off. That looked like a fucking tiny map for a 6v6.
It did. I mean, my positive of the 6v6 thing was going to be sort of semi-related to what you guys have just said, to the point of where I think if they are going to be... If we go to Black Ops 4, they were made for 5v5, comp has been 5v5, but it has felt typically notoriously small. But I suppose that's because we've always played 4v4 and 6v6 maps, whereas now we went to 5v5 on 5v5 maps. But I think realistically, if it's going 6v6 and they are going to make the maps bigger, albeit we have seen some small ones, then I'm all right with that, because I think, like Brice said, areas of the map get filled up maybe a little bit less quickly if they are slightly bigger, even if it is 5v5. So I think it's sort of, if they are going to base the model off, we are making these maps for 6v6, not just for whatever we think.
Is there any overviews of the maps that they played yesterday?
I don't know if we've seen like them actually printed anyway. I did have a look. I didn't see anything. Someone asked me whether 6v6 talk come from. It was just a hypothetical. Because of the reason given for the 5v5, they said they want to bring it together. What if we go up again? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Imagine if it did, it would be funny as fuck.
Yeah. Something else we kind of only briefly touched on, recoil control and stuff. Do we think...
Trey, I don't think you know what you're talking about, mate. You said 5v5 might have come in for franchising, but why did they slash the player count in pubs?
It was.
That was the whole.
That's the thing, Trey. I actually don't know if you know what you're talking about, mate. If 5v5 might have come in for franchising, but they still slashed it from 6v6 to 5v5.
Fucking hell, yeah. Q is the one I'd feel sorry for if it went 6v6.
Good luck looking at 12 players, mate, if we ever go 6v6. It's hard enough at the moment. some of the other observers. Good thing, the thing is, Paradox is actually really good at observing. I know this is a tangent. Some of the others not so good. Paradox, train them up better. But that's let's stay away from the shade here. So at one point, I'm going to go through everything that we've seen. But the other thing I want to talk about here is the possible, because we've talked about, would they do a big exhibition ground war right next year just for the pros, and I can see them doing it. The other thing they've really been pushing is this Gunfighter 2v2, and it wouldn't surprise me to see
a little mini circuit.
It wouldn't surprise me to see a mini circuit. It wouldn't surprise me to see that actually have some comp aspect to it next year, because they are pushing it hard. We had a big tournament with it yesterday.
As long as there is plenty of maps, because I'll not lie, we were playing the same 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
I was already a little bit bored of watching it because it's the same repetitive, same thing over and over again. I think they would have to have maybe like a set. I mean, if you really want to delve into it, like a set of what is coming next. What are the other people strong at, like that sort of thing? Like you know what weapons are coming, you know what classes are coming, I should say. But I don't think it's a bad shout, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me. But I would like, if they're going to do it, we need to see a huge map pool. Let's be honest. Okay, I don't really know how maps are designed and how it does work, but they're not very big. Surely it doesn't take that long to make them.
Yeah,
you would think, in theory, but who fucking knows at this point?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea though. Then, as Chris has just pointed out, it has a built-in tournament mode already in the game.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? Like, for me, that always starts things ringing when they start pushing that, and it's not just from a marketing point of view. If they're pushing a tournament mode, if they're pushing a tournament at the reveal party, at the reveal party, all this sort of stuff. Because if they wanted to, let's be perfectly clear here, they had enough players there to run a normal format 5v5, 4v4, 6v6 tournament in venue with all the players there in a team. They could have done that. They could have kicked off with that. They had professional casters there to do it, but they went with the 2v2. So clearly, there's something there for them. Now, I don't know whether or not that's going to be in franchise or they're just going to have it outside the franchise.
That's what we'll be doing next year.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine that pro players would be entirely pleased if, as well as their franchise pro league in the 5v5 format for the Call of Duty League, then they get told, oh, by the way, we're going to have some competitions 2v2 during the year. You guys have got to submit a 2v2. And that would essentially split their practice.
I mean, let's have separate.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Is how does that work? Because if the pros aren't involved, fair enough, it's outside of them. If they are involved, is it just, kind of a casual thing for them? Does it mean anything? Are the prize pool's going to be decent?
I mean, how far do you want to go down the rabbit hole here? Like,
what so here's my theory. So here's what I think will happen. I don't think they will split any player base CDL-wise. That will all be a separate thing. They will do maybe 1 or 2 exhibitions with the 2v2 and probably encourage pros to do it on their streams. That's what I think they're going to do. We've talked before about how pros, scrimming and stuff it's more rare in other esports to see these big scrims going on compared to like the pros put it out and playing together all the time. I think the 2v2 will become the new big kind of streamed thing. I think you'll see 2v2 competitions for the pros outside their scrim hours, and that's what they'll stream instead of a blackout.
I mean, it's easy and accessible. You don't need to set up any rules or any of that bullshit. Well, to this
point. Well, the pros can set up a tournament in-game, invite the other pros in, and just go. No worries. And they'll just be like, yep, we're doing a Friday night 2v2 tournament.
If they had a ranking system for 2v2s, you see how Gears of War used to have it?
They might.
Yeah.
Gears of War, like, I remember James telling me about when him and, I think it was Jack Reactions. They used to just fuck around on 2v2s and just batter people. Even on Halo, right? You had 2v2 game modes with ranking systems. Like, stuff like that's good to stream. If there's a 2v2
100%.
playlist,
100%.
and you just stream stuff, it'd be dope as fuck for
I'm
content
interested
creators.
if it's going to be in the beta. I think it might be. It was the first thing they revealed, so it might be one of the first things that was fully ready. Wouldn't surprise me. But no, I like 2v2 mode, or gunfight as we should really call it.
It's going to be big next year. It's going to be so big.
It'll be good. I don't think. I think they will do like spin-off tournaments like they did with Blackout. Right, 100%. But it won't be focused as much. It literally is just a real good thing for content creators to stream and give people to stream. Because I'd much rather go play 2v2 ranked playlist than a 4v4 or a 5v5 ranked playlist.
I think what will probably happen is you'll see a lot of like Friday Fortnite and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's going to happen several times during the year. Hell, I would do it. Like, why not? Just go, right, everybody, just jump in. I'm going to set it up, send you the invites, and you're in, and we'll just go.
You just put your daily rate on of $500,000.
Exactly.
And there's the prize pool. So there you go.
There's the prize pool. I'm sure people will sponsor it. Like, they can sponsor this podcast. But no, I thought that was very interesting. I didn't mind it either. It looked like it might be something cool to just kind of jump in with a mate and go for it.
I fuck with it big time. I like it.
I like it. All right, so this is going to be the next section here. We'll put a pin in that for now. Everything that we've seen in game. So I'm going to list these off and we'll discuss them one by one. First of all, before we even kind of get into the list, the very first word is going to have to be discussed. Kill streaks. Kill streaks over score streaks.
Yeah.
Now, they gave a reason for this, and the reason was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
What was the reason?
It was something about kind of just getting the information to the players and being less kind of a distraction.
It's more just about get these amount of kills, you get the streak. It's not about get a kill, get an assist, get a hill time.
Well, honestly, as long as there's no EKAs, whatever it is this year, where you get fucking score for fucking someone else finishing off a kill, i.e. Joe Pinnington fucking getting full streaks every map off, just putting a bullet into
that's
people.
not going to be a thing because it's not score streaks anymore.
Yeah,
kills.
well,
So
that used to infuriate me.
I would say it's one of my biggest issues with the assist points on Black Ops 4. How quick? I mean, the fact that you see so many streaks a game.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
Fucking Scraps and Trey on the team, fucking bodying people, and Joe's just putting a bullet into everyone, and next thing you know, he's got fucking full streaks. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, in this podcast, we like Joe Pennington.
No, we love Joe Pennington, but he's just a little shoot in the back rat.
He's a little shoot in the back rat.
Yeah.
Well, there's a clip for you. I agree, see. For me, I don't know because I've always liked score streaks for comp, for like juggling, for assists, for doing the work on there. EKA also is a massive saver for me in league mode because it makes me look like I'm doing something.
It's a massive saver, but at the same time, it's allowing people to get streaks very easily.
Yeah. Don makes a really good point though. Easy to track players on streaks.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. That's what it comes down. That's kind of what I was saying. Like you can't really shoot literally. 9 times out of 10, I'm just using Joe as an example here. There's loads of other players. 9 times out of 10, Joe got his full streaks. We had no fucking idea because he literally wasn't getting kills in the kill feed. So it's just like, oh, right, Joe's just called in a fucking hellstorm.
And
great.
It's even hard for us to follow, like on Codcaster sometimes, because you see somebody's on a 2 streak, and then suddenly you see the 3 fucking diamonds go up, and it's like, oh well, shit. I mean, okay, like we couldn't even track that to that point. Whereas now we can be like, holy fuck, he's on a 6 kill streak. He's close to getting blah, blah, blah.
Kill streaks encourage not playing the objective though. And well, if you're playing with someone like that in competitive, then you just need to fucking go give him the boot and the fucking jaw.
Oh yeah, let's be perfectly
literally.
I think it's also you got to remember the casual side of it. There's no way the casual side give a flying shit about the objective 90% of the time. It's why nobody in comp really dips into pubs normal. It's league play or blackout or nothing.
I can't remember the last time I played a stand-up pub.
I can't. I honestly saw a map the other day. I don't think I've ever seen it. I was like, oh my god, what is that map?
Maybe when I was trying to do Dark Matter and then I gave up halfway through.
Yeah.
I
didn't even try to do Dark Matter. I just played blackout. I honestly couldn't tell you half the maps in this game. I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know the names outside of comp.
Activision right now. Disgusting.
Outside of comp, I'm just not interested.
You're telling me you haven't played?
Yeah, you can't even name one. You can't even name a map outside of comp because we're so focused on comp.
What's the one? The Frozen one? Icebreaker. That's it.
Icebreaker.
That's all I was thinking.
Right, I couldn't tell you what that is. It's frozen shit bullshit as far as I'm concerned.
It is frozen shit bullshit, correct?
I've just not playing it. But I don't know. For me, it's a completely different thing. I don't mind, I suppose, kill streaks coming in. Admittedly, this goes all the way back to Black Ops 2 when we first spoke about streaks in comp anyway. So it'd be curious to see how kill streaks changes it a little bit this year.
When was score streaks introduced?
Score streaks?
It's been on and off because it was in Black Ops 2. You could get hill juggling. Yeah,
hill juggling.
Yeah, was that the first time? Well, that was
Yeah, Black Ops 2. It was literally score streaks. It wasn't kill streak.
6 years.
I don't think we've had kill streaks for a minute.
Yeah, we haven't. We haven't. It's been score streaks since then. I'm
Yeah,
100% sure.
yeah, no. I mean, bar Ghost, but that doesn't count.
No.
Because you used to get perks if you went on kill streaks on that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You can now talk about the the field. What are they called? Field.
Wait,
we haven't got that yet.
Why was the minimap not the first thing?
No, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, mate. We'll end on that because it's a controversial tactic, mate. We've got millions to do. Millions. I've got this huge list I've got to read down of stuff in the game, and we've got the first word.
Do you want to know how much of the review I actually watched?
Oh God.
Well,
all of it.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Not really. I watched like 10 minutes of it.
I think I watched like 3 hours.
Yeah, I watched a lot. No,
I didn't. All right, so we'll get to the field operations in a little bit. So we've got the kill streaks. Okay, so the first thing is the personal radar, which brings back the minimap. It basically just gives you radar for yourself.
Yeah, I'm using that every single game.
Why? Why would you? I mean, there's a UAV for one more kill. I suppose you could go personal radar, UAV, and then just something bigger.
Get that then,
just to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't trust your teammates, just trust yourself.
Personal radar, what does that do? Does it bring up a minimap?
It brings up the minimap and enables. Basically, it's a personal UAV essentially.
Oh well, that's not going to be used in comp. So.
Yeah, that's not going to be used in comp. Then you've got the usual. So 4 kills is counter UAV, and care package. None of those are in comp anyway. I do think care package needs to go into the 5 as it usually does, but never mind, because it's just too low to not run it. Then we go to 5, and this is where we start hitting it. Cluster strikes. Single for a number of cluster mortars to hit the designated location. Kind of looks a little bit like artillery.
Yeah.
Maybe like a weaker artillery. Remember that from World War II?
Yep. That's like a zoning tool. It does look like it kills people, obviously, but
yeah, that's only 5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's only 5. The other one is cruise missile. So Hellstorm. Without the cluster. What was that called? What was the other name for that? It was P something.
No, that was the.
No, you remember? It was in. What was the name for the bloody? It wasn't Patriot missile. It was something else. But it's just one missile. Predator. It was a Predator missile. That's what it was. It looks like the same thing. Cruise missile is the same thing. Precision. There we go. Someone. Finbar Smith got it. Precision airstrike. Call in twin jets for a precision strike along the best available path.
Now, some of these just all sound the sort of same thing, don't they? I don't know if it's just
a little bit. Like so, cluster strikes you bang it on the map and it bangs it. Cruise missile you take control of like Predator. Precision airstrike.
You have to actually.
Now I don't know if we got to see it.
There's a video that has all the kill streaks in it.
Already
put it up. Yep.
Take a look at that precision one for me, because that sounds like you just click it and it just does its own shit.
You've got to get your binoculars out, pal. And you've got
your binoculars?
Your binoculars out. Drifter made a video of it. I'll link it in the chat. But yeah, it's one of those where you have to actually be on the ground and you have to like literally like, oh, let's yeet it in over here sort of thing. It's not just a
Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a very simple.
Do you designate targets with binoculars in this game?
On this one specifically.
I mean, because that now sounds shit.
Yes, that sounds shit. I put it in the chat.
I was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Just, bang it in and it goes. That now sounds awful because no pro player in their right mind is going to want to stand on the map and wait. Oh, no, I'll get the old binoculars out while me mate's pushing the bloody,
It's
whatever.
About 4 minutes 50 on that video I've just linked in the chat.
All right, let's take a look at this. I know. Obviously, people haven't got to see it. Oh, there's the track thingy.
For the chat.
There we go. I've got it. So, and you designate it, do you? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's pretty fast though. Like that. Yeah. That's pretty quick. I don't know if
onto a hard point. You know what I mean? Like it comes in a couple of times there. So
yeah. 2 of them. I mean, it's a bit like a fight. It's like Fighter Pilot from World War II without you actually taking control of it.
Oh my god! I saw him driving around in a fucking tank.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that, mate. We'll get to that. All right. So it's not terrible. I just don't know if you're going to use it. Depends because so basically like it hits the original position and then goes off. But like I don't see pros using it that much because if you can see a person to bomb, you're going to shoot them anyway. Like, most streaks in this game aren't about the easy gunfights you can take. They're about the gunfights you can't take or getting mass kills. So we'll move on from 5 to 7. But I don't know if this is all of them, because this isn't everything in the game, by the way.
I think this is all of the kill streaks now. There's quite a few.
No, there is. Wilson.
That's the little tank.
Yeah. Remote-controlled UGV with a powerful air burst turret.
What was it called on Black Ops 3? Oh, fucking
Cerberus.
Cerberus. Bloody annoying.
Like a Cerberus.
But less. It seems faster and more maneuverable. Yeah, so it seems faster and more maneuverable. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if that will be used.
So
it won't be used, mate. Literally, Predator missile, cluster strike, and then stun kills will be used. Maybe a chopper.
So the difference between them two is that it depends what map you're playing. If you're playing a small map, then the fucking thing comes in.
Mate, I don't give a shit. I'm getting in a tank.
And then if you're on the big map, big fucking tank comes in.
And it also depends on what tacticals you can use to disable them, what counters they have to them.
If I remember rightly, I'm sure I've seen a video where one of them goes down with like 1 RPG or some shit. So
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. So 7 kills is either the Wilson or the infantry assault vehicle. Which, for me, here's the thing, right? Trying to balance it for comp and for everything else, I like tanks. So I want to call in a tank. I think everybody wants to call in a tank. At no point are you not going to have fun calling in a tank. And this will be the argument, is that it'll be great for viewers. And I can't disagree in that regards. For me, it depends on whether or not it's viable, whether or not it's counterable, whether or not, it fits in the comp landscape. I would like to see it. Personally, I would love to see them in the game. Just because I think it would be awesome to watch. Holy shit! They're running into the objective with a tank. Like, at that point, it will be.
It depends how hard they are to kill. If they become somewhat impossible, then I think it's probably not going to happen. But if they're relatively easy to get rid of, then never know.
But at that point, you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take it.
It depends how powerful it is.
I don't know. I still think it'd be cool. I don't think it'd be G8. I just think it's because it's just a tank,
Shut up.
You got to man it, You jump in the tank, so it's taking the player out of it.
Someone, if that no. No. R20 for Juggernaut shouldn't be G8.
Oh god.
Yeah. Ask people about the Juggernaut. I heard that got someone 25 grand running a fucking flag on Dome CTF.
Yeah, we're talking about XP, mate. That was a long time ago.
But what? It was regardless. Score streaks like that have no place in competitive Call of Duty.
Well, we'll get to this version of Juggernaut, which is even tougher in a minute.
Yeah, well, and
all right, let's move on to 8 kills. 8 kills is the emergency airdrop. I mean, it's 3 random kill streak care packages. No one's going to be running that in comp, but it might be worth a crack. Get anything out of it. The VTOL jet, which to me is Harrier strike.
The VTOL jet has
So here's the description of it. Releases initial missile barrage before guarding a location of the player's choice. Now, don't get me wrong.
Exactly,
yeah, it sounds like the Harrier thing. Was it MW2 or 3? I can't remember which one it was.
It's basically that.
Yeah, it's just the Harrier. It's the Harrier, but it's higher than the old Harrier was. Because the old Harrier was 7, this is 8. So maybe it's a little bit better. And then 10, so because they've gone up with it a few times. So this one's Chopper Gunner is 10. And White Phosphorus is also 10. White Phosphorus is, I'm guessing, he drops basically a massive area denial weapon, from what I can tell. You can drop basically a normal strike.
It's like an airstrike, but it's
and then it stays.
That burns you.
Yeah, and then it stays. I don't know if that will make it in comp, not because I don't think it's viable, but because it's so high. White Phosphorus is 10 kills. Yeah. Doable, but is it worth running? Especially when you get VTOL for 8 kills.
Well, that's like, you look at like Chopper Gunner now, and attack chopper is something that not a lot of people use because they'd rather get the lightning strike and the Hellstorm again. So could be similar sort of thing at the end of the day.
Then you've got support helo at 11, calling a heavy assault helo with twin turrets to patrol the map. Yeah, but a bigger one. And then a real big one, like a Pavlov gunship, heavy assault gunship with 3 times of armaments. Well, no, that's the one where you control it, right? Gunship. Gunship's the one you control it, yeah. So that's an AC-130. So yeah, so like maybe 11's a Pavlov, and the gunship is the AC-130. And then you got advanced UAV that reveals the direction and all that sort of stuff. And that's like all the other ones they've had. It's the same thing. And then 15 kills is the Juggernaut, where it plays like a sound coming out. It plays metal music, and it has a minigun, and you're incredibly hard to kill, and no one's ever running it in comp unless they're having a giggle.
It's not going to be used. I can't say that one.
Here's the thing. I want it.
Apparently, it was very powerful.
Well, of course it is. If it's 15 kills, by the way, if you get a 15 kill streak in a pro game, you deserve the Juggernaut anyway.
You've already got a 15 kill streak. Let's give you another 20.
Exactly.
Question: is there nukes?
Yes, there is a nuke.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a streak. I think it's just 25 kills.
Up the map, and does it like end the game, or is it?
I don't know.
I think from what I read, it does end the game, but I don't think anyone's 100% on how many it is.
Well, look at Paradox thing. We actually say from experience, it's very powerful. I'm sorry, Paradox. You got 50 kill streak. What's so good?
Weird flex.
Paradox has only ever played against he's probably played against the talent, to be fair. Which I can see why we managed to get that.
I know, right? Nameless trash.
Jesus. Oh man. I don't know. For me, I think it's interesting because it seems like we're going to have the same standard spread. I don't know what it's going to be run. I imagine it's going to be because if it's 5 kills for both, you're not going to get both, right? So you have to pick out either cluster strikes or cruise missile. So I imagine cruise missile is going to be the default 5. And then after that, you've got VTOL at 8 and maybe a 10?
Have they got like a VSAT?
Yeah, VSAT is 12. Called Advanced UAV.
Yeah, like their kill streaks there are fun for pubs. Kill streaks for comps is going to be the same fucking bullshit we've had every single year. It'll be.
That's what I was trying to work out what they would be.
And then a chopper or 3 bombs and then whatever.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the weapons. We can't go over this too much because there isn't a lot to actually talk about yet because we haven't got our hands on them. We don't know what the hell we're going to do. There does seem to be a few burst rifles, or at least the chance to.
So on some of them, you can set them as burst rifles.
Yeah,
that's the
what
thing.
I noticed.
The weapons aren't exclusively like one thing. I think it was like maybe 60 attachments per weapon or something on an average.
30 to 60 attachments.
30 was for the pistols.
Person I was watching, they had that thing, press triangle to change it from single burst to fully automatic.
Yep, there's all that.
If Dave Marsh was playing and there was a single fucking fire gun and it's just pretty peak for the comp.
It's a shutdown at that point.
Really?
I'm going to side with Ethan in the chat saying anyone else really like the way attachments work. I like that. The fact that there's that much variation for me, as somebody who's a commentator over the game, is great. For some people,
for like 2 minutes until you're at an event and players are asking for another 10 minutes in between maps while they're changing their classes.
That's very true. It's
going to take a lot of classes for comp. A lot of classes.
One thing I want to I'm not 100% sure on, but when I was watching it, it looked like you could go into Gunsmith in game, and I can't be having. For me, I think Paradox might be able to confirm this. I don't think you should be able to be changing your weapon on the fly, like changing attachments and shit. That should absolutely not be the case. You can change the attachments in game. Right, for me, I don't think you should be able to do that.
No, that's just fucking bullshit. Fucking some guys just like...
So, he's using that. Let me change this. Yeah, it negates any...
sight from my back pocket when I'm sniping.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, guys have got my trade because he's putting on a heavy stock. I'll be fuming.
Yeah, like I mean, look, if you are picking your classes at the beginning of the game, and somebody uses something and so-called like outsmarts you to a point where he's like, oh shit, he's using this, I didn't think about that. Then you can be like, oh shit, I can just change and use the exact same thing. Great, cool.
Then again, you got to think as well. It could have something to do with coaches.
Well,
players to switch it up because something they need to change something. There's all different dynamics to it, man.
It seems like a lot of the like you obviously have so many slots on a gun, but it seems like just the stock thing got me. It's like there's like 4 different types of stock that all do slightly different things. I don't mind so much. I think
the dynamic of the weapons pretty much.
Yeah, I think players finding out what suits them best and stuff will be great. I know we saw the MP5 class, like all the attachments. You could put a load of attachments that all increase movement speed. Dude was running around the map like he was just on something. It was ridiculous. I was like, oh my god, that guy is literally like flat out.
I like it to the point where like it has its positives and negatives as well. So like, yes, okay, there might be a point. I think it was a video. I think I watched a Sprat sniping video this morning, and he was like, I used everything to make my ADS quicker, and because of that, it wasn't as powerful as some of the other ones. So yes, okay, you might be able to snap in and quick scope people, but you might not be able to kill them in one shot. So there's like things like that where, you know, you can put all your eggs in one basket. If you're an SMG player, you could be using a certain gun.
Brice is a furry, confirmed.
You could be using like all the like ADS quick movement speed perks or movement speed attachments, etc., to help you, and you could use it as an SMG, or you can really change it up and literally make it like a DMR sort of rifle. So it means we're going to see a lot of variation at first, and then everyone will realize what's really fucking good and start using that, essentially. So
yeah, bring back CTF. Give me that fast class. Bring back CTF, and we'll just run around like a lunatic. Grab that thing out, be out there, just like you say, in bulk, just gone. I don't mind it. I think the great part of that is it allows this great line or narrative talking about, you know, the different combinations and what players think are powerful, what they don't think is powerful, and kind of moving through it like this way, because you're just going to have so many options to kind of figure it out. Every player's going to have their own superstition. You know, some player goes mad at one event. It turns out he's using this specific combination. And you'd be like, yes, that's fantastic. Let's have that.
Keeping it useful, mate. That's what people.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, mate. It'd be like.
They might stop streams in the first month when someone says, "Oh shit, I found the fucking ultimate fryer."
Yeah.
Well, we already know it's the FAMAS. Holy shit! As a burst gun.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was literally like there was a clip of TP using it. He literally hip fired somebody, like just quick snap, like hip fired somebody around a corner or something, and he just died.
Type 95 type bullshit, yeah.
Yeah,
it was quick.
Exactly like
it
that.
was
Exactly
super,
like
super,
that.
super quick. I think
Type
the burst
was literally the best burst gun we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think the bursts were relatively slow, but it was yeah, the FAMAS looks like it kills real fast.
Yeah, I mean, we've had the list at the moment is mostly assault rifles anyway, and these are all based on like real guns. So they're basically saying like real-ish guns this year. You've got 5 that have been obviously there are more. There's the SMG. The AUG is the SMG. I don't know why it's an SMG. I imagine that's, you know, a different type of AUG than normal AUG.
You can probably make it as some sort of AR.
Yeah, probably. You got several marksman rifles, LMG, shotguns, and 1 sniper at the moment. I think it should be interesting how much that changes the comp, and I think you're also going to have the analysts really talk about variations of attachments and how they affect how the gameplay works. Because like, so if you can get map control in a good position or a power position, are you going to want to have a gun that takes best control of that power position, or do you keep your gun slightly different in terms of like more versatile? For a more aggressive pushing game.
It's where you put your eggs in what basket, so to speak, in this one, isn't it? Which
Flex
is going
to have a laugh.
It's going to create a lot of, I want to say, it's going to create a lot of smarts, I suppose, like what you have to use for right situations, right maps. At least it's like, in this game, you can't really discuss around attachments or anything because everyone uses the same fucking thing. Whereas now it's going to be a bit more like, oh, well, I can see why he's using this on this map. I don't know why they didn't think of that sort of thing. So you'll be able to break it down. Everyone will be able to see like reasons behind it, etc. So yeah, I like it. I like it from a competitive point of view. As said, I don't love being able to change it on the fly because it's shooting war sim, but yet your boy's carrying 50 attachments in his backpack and just like fucking
having a word while he's being shot. Just give me a stick, right? For God's sake.
Well, I changed me stocks, changed me barrel, changed me sight, changed me bullets. It's like, well, that wouldn't happen. So, like, for me, I absolutely don't like that personally. But
imagine, look, I know it's a stupid comparison, right? But imagine sitting there and like you're in a fight and you see the bloke next to you taking apart his gun. What are you doing?
In the middle of
what
Afghanistan,
are you doing?
You're being pinned down by the Taliban. It's like, hold on a second, he seems to be using something pretty good.
Gets out his mat and just starts making a new combination.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't mind it. I'll be curious to see how it works. I imagine pros won't do it that much because in respawn game mode, you're not going to have the time to piss about.
How much can you change? I don't know these things.
Do you know what I love about this game? How they've made it center and easier for fucking shit people.
The dot.
You notice how there's a dot in between your crosshairs, so it's going to be piece of piss for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, they've done that for that reason, though. They've done it to make it easier to center.
Yeah, they've done it to make it easier to center. Yeah, 100%. People ain't
I wonder if you can turn it off, though. I wonder if you can turn it off.
I mean, why would you turn it off?
Oh, because it just gets in the way.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it'd be pretty good for a sniper. I saw it last time.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true.
Fucking no-scope people.
That is true. All right, let's move on then. And let's talk about the perks that we've seen so far. So for the perk 1 slot, double time, triple the duration of super sprint and fully refresh super sprint on kills.
Yeah, there's a new sprinting system, isn't there?
It's run. Normal sprint is unlimited. Then you've got your my balls are on fire sprint.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think the perk having it in there is, well, how much is going to be used in comparison to the other ones, we'll soon find out. It'll be good for rushes on S&D, etc. Don't hate it. Don't. Yeah, that's fine with me. Fine with me.
Yeah,
I haven't even read
over
all the perks yet.
Yeah. EOD, take reduced damage from non-killstreak explosions and fire.
It's going to be
Hack
used.
Enemy claymores, proximity mines, and C4.
Yep, be used.
Yeah, it's flak in it.
Yeah.
Scavenger, resupply ammo for dead players. Yeah. It's a traditional perk, won't be used in comp. Because it doesn't, like, if it did like lethals and tacticals, maybe, but it's just ammo. You're never going to need it. Tracker. I mean, I think it's GA. Enemies leave behind trails and death markers, and you increase your crouch movement speed by 30%.
So that is basically like Skulker won't be used.
Yeah. Skulker combined with the old tracker perk.
Yeah, could you imagine the strafing on that? Somebody just crouched down and fucking strafing all over the gaff. Sorry, I've just absolutely twatted my mic. Yeah, just strafing all over the place.
Yeah, and then there's tune up, increase the charger rate of field upgrades by 50%.
I could possibly see it being used because I'm sure we're going to talk about field upgrades and how they're sort of just basically mini little specialists. Yeah, maybe see it used. I wouldn't be necessarily too disappointed if it was used, but I think there's other things that might be better.
Yeah, I think double time and EOD, obvious ones. Obvious ones from that. I mean, I've been told there's more perks that we haven't seen as well.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Fucking not worried.
Sorry. Anything set out for you, Reedy?
Huh?
Anything stand out for you?
No, it's just perks, really, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough. Perk 2. Ghost is the usual ghost. UAVs, heartbeat sensors, high alert. Don't even know what high alert is. I think that's a field upgrade. Hide the death markers of enemies you kill. It's standard. It probably won't be used. Hardline is just your kill streaks cost 1 less kill. Useless in comp. Kill chain. This is the one that seems a bit interesting. Kill streaks earned in your current life earn kill credit for other kill streaks.
Yeah, so that would be a case of it being able to snowball them a little bit better.
I mean, I don't know if... I mean, bearing in mind...
But then you're banking and you're getting yourself streaks.
Doesn't seem, but it could be a bit of a snowball. Have a player run that. If they start getting a bit streaky, game's over. They're just going to keep getting the streaks coming in. I don't know. I don't think it'll be used.
Doubt it'll be in.
Yeah. Overkill, carry 2 primary weapons. I can see that viability.
Yeah, it has viability.
S&D.
You can see the viability until it gets GA'd, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, it will. It will. There's no laughing about it. It's not fair to have a fucking snipers in COD, as stupid as it is, right? Like, let's be honest. Having a sniper and then having a fucking primary as well, it's just more stupid. Good GA.
Yeah, Killer will be very, very annoyed. That'll be Jay.
It's just the way it is, really. It doesn't matter what Killer says. It doesn't matter what. It's just what everyone agrees. Like, I'm a sniper, and I think it would be stupid if you give me a sniper and something else.
Yeah, imagine having a sniper SMG. Like you can just do whatever you want.
It literally wouldn't be fair. Like, shit, you could take over a map with a sniper anyway. Like, what? Give the person a fucking SMG as well. It's just gonna be even more funny.
The way that used to be balanced way back in the day was like if you took overkill, you basically didn't have stopping power. That's where stopping power used to sit, wasn't it? That was the balance of.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not a thing anymore. So.
Yeah, well,
it's not a trade-off.
You wouldn't even. Yeah, like on COD 4, if you wouldn't take overkill.
Yeah.
I just don't because then the sniper's gonna hit marker.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 unless you're headshotting them. So.
Yeah. It's basically like too powerful nowadays.
And that's what the time to kill in that game. I know because it was on LAN, but it looks fucking quick.
It does.
I think it looks quick compared to Black Ops 4.
Yeah, well, it's always like a persona, like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Every time to kill looks mad quick, but that day, when some of the shit I was seeing yesterday, I was like, raw. You sprint into a gunfight, you're fucked. I know majority of people were fucking pub players and that, and whenever I saw someone aiming down sights, they would just obliterate whoever was running around the corner. It wasn't even funny.
And then the last one's interesting because it's basically Black Ops 4's tactical system, but I don't think it'll be used because it doesn't make sense. Recharge equipment over 30 seconds. It seems like very weak for me. That seems a very, very weak perk.
Yeah.
If you're alive for 30 seconds and you need to get your equipment back, like what the hell are you doing? I suppose maybe S&D, like that's where I could see it being used. You throw out early equipment and then.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, you throw equipment and it recharges.
Yes.
Dead.
Wait. Is this not field upgrades?
It says recharge equipment.
No, but that's not a typical thing. That is something that's an extra, really. It's not like equipment
it's
you get one per life.
I'm not sitting there thinking, right, I'm going to dash an aid and then one man army another fucking aid.
It's perk 2.
Yeah, so you could do that, but this game is not rechargeable. It is in that sense, as in if you are in one life and use a stun, and then it might recharge over however long.
Dead. Like, come on, there's no other word for it, man. What S&D, you chuck that on if someone's holding a bomb site. I'll just sit there for a good minute and a half and just throw nades at 3 different spots. Oh yeah, shit, I've got an entry now, boys. Let's roll.
I mean, it could happen. It says equipment. I don't know if it's just tacticals or if it's lethals. We'll find out. Perk 3.
In fact, all 5 of you could just have that on and throw nades at someone defending a bomb site for a minute and a half and then go in. Like, how? Like what?
Yeah,
that's just stupid. It shouldn't be in comp. Sorry.
Let's go into perk 3s then. Amped. Faster weapon swap and rocket launcher reload speed. It doesn't seem useful.
The weapon swap does.
If you're running overkill, maybe, but like, we don't even know if people are going to be running. Is a pistol standard secondaries now? Like, cause I know sometimes people don't run them in some games. I didn't see the thing because some games have it as you have to have a secondary pistol.
There's no
some
pick
games
10.
have it as you pick.
There's no pick 10, so I presume
it's
have one.
Standard. Yeah.
And they're good. Specifically the Deagle. Pretty fucking good.
Oh, I love it. I love a good Deagle. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Overkill especially. Battle hardened. It's tack. Reduce the strength of enemy flash, stun, and EMP effects.
So they're in different perk slots.
Really? It's just perk 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Flak. Sorry, flak and tack. Yeah.
Different perk slot, which is good, I think. Well, is it? I don't know. Is it good?
Wait, what?
Well, I think it is battle hardened. It's basically tack because you start every life this game.
Yeah.
You start every life with a stun and a lethal. So I think they'll be run.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it will definitely be run.
Yeah.
I'll get stunned.
Yeah. Cold-blooded, undetectable by AI targeting systems and thermal optics, immune to snapshot grenades.
What is a snapshot grenade?
So a snapshot grenade, really, which we'll get because we'll get into all the tacticals in a bit. But basically, you throw a grenade in, It has a little helicopter blade on the top of it. Sounds ridiculous, I know. It flies up, bangs, and sort of like pulses them once through the wall.
It's like,
so like instead of a hit marker, you can see it through a wall.
Yeah, like an EMP, but just an EMP on steroids.
Yeah, you can
throw
see.
It in,
you can see.
And it basically gives you like COD vision. Like you can see shit people through.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, look, you're taking up a tactical spot. That's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, COD players, pro players are banned this." But what would you rather run that than a stun? I mean, same information. Throw it out, hit marker. Oh, he's there.
Yeah, that's true.
Your point.
Walls?
Yeah, but only for a second. It's not for very long.
And it's not a big area. It's not a big area. Like there are some things you can definitely use it for, but you still have to push that guy, and he's not stunned. So it's not.
I don't think it's that bad.
I'll never forget the one sniper on AW that you would shoot a sticky bomb on the wall and then shoot again.
God, I don't remember that. I know that.
That was so stupid, and I used to use it on Detroit at the crossing school. It was great. Sorry, that just reminded me of dumb shit, and that just came into my head. Sorry.
High alert. Oh, so this is high alert. Your vision pulses when enemies outside of you see you. We've had this in this game before. Basically, it's a little bit. The most common thing I can think of do is paranoia in Blackout. Except instead of a whisper, it's just your vision's going to pulse when people can see you, or aim at you.
Can't see it being used personally. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Shrapnel, spawn with an extra piece of lethal equipment, and explosive damage delays enemy health regeneration. That's wait.
Oh, that's powerful.
Wait. Chuck that on with the fucking recharge thing, man. Just start touching it.
That's very fucking powerful.
It won't be used in competitive.
I mean, it's interesting though.
Danger Close wasn't meant to be used in competitive, and I still used it. Lol.
Spotter. See enemy equipment, field upgrades, and kill streaks through walls, and you can mark them for your team by looking at them while aiming down sights.
Just engineer, basically, right?
Yeah, especially engineer. It's just I don't think it's
on
useful.
Steroids, yeah. Go on.
And then we go into the lethals. We'll go straight into that. So I don't know if all the perks are there.
Fucking Dead Silence. Hello.
Ooh. No, they didn't. So apparently it's been mentioned by a dev.
So Dead Silence is going to be a field operation.
What's a fucking field operation, man? I'm being dead serious. I said I watched 10 minutes of it last night.
Why can't I literally I keep forgetting what they're called. Field. Why am I dumb?
Field upgrades.
Field upgrades, is it? Right. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, field upgrade. Right. So it's going to be a field upgrade. So it's the point. It's like a little mini charge specialist essentially. And you get it every once in a while. There's certain ones that charge faster than others.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Dead Silence isn't going to be fucking dead. Oh my god.
You're going to be able to use it, but sparingly.
You know why, right?
So like AW, where you used to use the exosuits and
exomute. Yeah, it's Joe. Like.
Hold on, who made this game? Was it the people that made AW?
No, AW was Sledge.
Was Sledge not making this game, like the foundations?
Nope.
No, Sledge actually just got pulled off the next COD as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
This is IW.
Yeah, but I think some of these things could change, and I think some of the feedback that has been given might make them want to change that. I don't know.
I mean, look,
do you want to know why? I can tell you why.
Simple when it comes to stuff like Dead Silence. Make it how it was on fucking COD 4. If you weren't crouching, you're not fucking silent, but just not waste it. Make it very faint if you're running or sprinting. Like not too much. Oh my god.
You know why though, right?
What?
Why?
So there's been the same argument from devs for the last God knows how long, and I've had this conversation. They do, and they put it out in PR stuff. It's like the most. It's known, but no one ever remembers it year to year. They do not like crutch perks. They hate them. They hate any perk they think is necessary. It's why stopping power got removed from the game, from Call of Duty, like as a perk, because they do not like any perk to be a must take. Hate it. They hate any perk to be a must take. And Dead Silence, obviously, especially in comp, is always a must take. It's a must take for obvious reasons. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's 100%. I do think Dead Silence is a must. I do agree with Reedy. It should be like COD 4. If your headset's cranked enough and you can kind of see what's going on, then it's okay.
But it was
I don't
silent
know.
when you was crouched, right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Completely.
I just look, even if it's a crunch perk, I mean, people still used extreme con on COD 4 and just crouched. People
Yeah.
did use other perks than dead silence. Just make crouching silent, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose there comes to a point of where you can say, yes, I get your argument with all this, obviously, but at the same time, there's going to be times where it's like, right, when's the best time to use it, etc. One of the ones I didn't like, and I know we're not necessarily going into field upgrades yet, so actually, I'll leave it there for now. If you,
we're going to get to those after these.
I mean, we'll be here all night at this point, Bryce.
Yeah, mate, we're almost on the list. We're almost on the list.
How long have we been live for?
Like an hour and a bit.
Oh,
So lethals, frag grenades, semtex, molotovs, claymores, throwing knives, C4, thermite, and proximity mines.
Claymores.
It's fairly standard, isn't
No,
it?
I love Claymores. I don't give a
Same.
shit. I think they had something to S&D.
Yeah, bring bounce and oh no, we do have a sort of a bounce and Betty thing now with the proximity mines, don't we? Pops up and bang.
Right,
So,
yeah, those are both GA to fuck.
Yep.
Frag and semtexes. Maybe, I mean, thermite was banned because of the thing. Molotovs would probably be the same thing. Ones will be more area effect. Thermite will be one where you drop it in a doorway, but nobody can get through. So it looks like it'll probably be frag semtexes for most of next year. Tacticals, no claymores. Tacticals, flash grenades, smoke grenades. Smokes are back. Stun grenades. Stim.
Yeah, right.
So you can stim.
Stim's a thing, but it's not. You don't. It isn't like obviously in everybody. Like you can stim, though. It's going to be there.
Yeah, you can stim, but obviously you use it. So if you have recharge on, I suppose it'll come back after 30 seconds, but it's probably not as useful. Decoy grenades, throw a grenade, signatures gunfire, and radar signatures if you have a radar. Gas grenades, you know, the old blurred vision, coughing, slow movement. Yeah. There's a snapshot grenade we talked about earlier, but you can see enemies through walls, and a heartbeat sensor. Tablet displays rough information about nearby enemies. It's go on.
Sorry, the heartbeat sensor, right?
Yeah.
That's not just an attachment on the gun. Do you know how many people actually use that on MW2? A fuck ton of people.
I know. That's probably why it's not an attachment on the gun. That shit was bullshit.
Well, it wasn't really fucking bullshit.
Got some guy crouching through bloody every corridor on the thing, just looking at his heartbeat sensor.
They were literal bots that were running that, but they were enjoying themselves being bots, you know?
It's true.
Like,
Oh, you get 2 stims per life. Oh, okay, sorry, just put that out.
Jeez. I mean, I'd probably prefer a stun and just put a recharge on and just get like 16 stuns in a round of S&D, fuck it.
Yeah, it does seem like it'd be better. All right, this last list is this list of what we know of field upgrades at the moment. Munitions box, recharge rate medium. Deploy a box of ammo, grenades, and weapons for your teammates. Shoot at your own risk. I'm guessing it explodes if you shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recon drone. Recharge rate slow. A remote control drone that marks enemies, equipment, and vehicles in the world. I mean, that seems powerful. Its recharge rate is slow.
If we don't have a minimap, I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It does seem powerful though. Tac insert.
Yeah.
Recharge rate fast. Marks the location as your next spawn point. Obviously, can't be used in comp because it'll just mess up all the spawns. Stopping power. Recharge rate slow.
Now, I don't know how much I like that. To the point where it's like, oh, you're playing well, you get this field upgrade. Now you're going to shoot stronger bullets.
Yeah, but you reload.
So you reload it. It's like a 30 clip or something, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ethan pointed out. Yeah, you can attach things to your recon drone and fly into people.
Shut up, man. Just shut up.
C4s and shit. Put it on.
It'll be fun. That'll be fun for pubs. Like, I'm not even allowed. I'd love to fly C4. I'd love to fly Claymore. If Swanee was on the other team, I'll definitely throw it on and put a Claymore on a recon and fly it straight at his head.
Put a couple on there. All right.
This is the one that I think will be most used. Trophy system. Recharge rate fast. Deploy a trophy system.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is it going to be like a trophy system on fucking steroids like this game where it takes like a
3
shoot the thing it?
3 nearby pieces of equipment and projectiles.
Alright, I like that.
It's 5v5. We can still, don't worry. We can get 3 of the fucking nades out and then recharge another 4. All good. We all good.
Yeah, but the trophy system's will recharge, and it's got a fast recharge rate. I don't know what fast means, but fast.
How fast is fast?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've been counting, boys.
And the last one we know about is deployable cover. Recharge rate fast.
Shut up.
Portable, rapidly deployable ballistic cover.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not
Trophies
either
last
that.
after you die. That's pretty good.
It's gonna be horrible for pubs. People are gonna use that.
I don't know.
Yep. 100%.
I know, but it's pubs. You have to expect it.
Yeah, you do. You do have to expect it.
Yeah, but a good pub game also helps. Makes people enjoy the game more. That's a fact.
That is true. I think that's a big thing as well. Like, more people playing it consistently, more people will jump into comp, more people will watch the best players in the world to figure out how to play. Oh, that means high viewership.
Yep. The game has to be good for pubs, like, realistically as well.
Oh yeah, let's not kid ourselves. That's where we all started.
1%.
Yeah.
So
that's where we all started, right? Everybody here started pubs.
Well,
Nobody just jumped straight into comp.
actually, no, I actually did jump straight into GB. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I was on GB's.
I
pretty
literally
early on.
jumped straight into a GB. But that was only because one of my best friends literally told me that, like, he paved the way for me. He's like,
That's fair enough.
you're buying COD and you're joining this GB team. I'm just gonna play a game.
All right. So questions in the chat while we briefly cover our last topic, and then we'll answer a few quick questions from you guys.
Tweet this out to get everyone in.
Okay. So our last topic, as this goes on, is about the no minimap. No minimap. Although I did see something about it can be turned on for comp. I will also point out in the reveal, I did say this. Don't know how many people caught it. You can see your teammates through walls, like COD vision, but it just wasn't in that build of the game.
Oh right, they said that, did they?
Yes, I don't know how many people caught it. Like I said, it was a 4-hour show, and he did say, he goes, by the way, you can see your friendly teammates through the walls. It's just not in this build of the game at the moment, but it will be in the game.
Surely that confirms no minimap. Otherwise, what's the fuck?
Yeah, no minimap.
It's confirmed. It's
No
confirmed.
minimap.
100% confirmed.
Yeah.
What? No minimaps confirmed?
Yeah.
So that was a tweet.
The tweet is about someone said that there should be minimap for comp, but that hasn't been. That's not a confirmation. That's just like someone. I don't know where that tweet was.
Okay, right.
So-
Regardless, no minimap for competitive Call of Duty.
Right. Well,
Small talk is gonna be mental.
as to preface this, there's a rumor that it is going to exist in comp, but that then takes us back to the discussion of you want to blur the lines, but the minimap.
Yeah, well, it's just a big fucking yikes. Right, so if there isn't fucking minimap in thing, a coach is gonna need to be essential and actually speaking, which is gonna throw a 6-man into the mix of things because it's gonna make so much shit chaotic IMO.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. That's. I
You're
think
gonna
that's.
need a coach on stage if there's no minimap. I'm sorry, but like some of these players don't even know how to speak now. Like,
And another thing to point out is that the game is not in its final build yet, so things could change.
It's also so fast. Like all cards are fast. I think a minimap, it just makes things harder for people casual, people who aren't used to small talk. Like most COD comp people, once they get used to it, can small talk. It just you have to flick your brain into that mode, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it's more difficult for some players than others, and some of the best teams have it. But if you watch any listening this year, it's frantic as hell, and half the time, it's not as frantic as it could be. Is because you can see on your minimap, or you'll flick your eyes to your minimap, and you know if you see a dot to your right, that player's holding X, Y, or Z because they know what they're doing.
yeah, but players still even moan about that. Even if you're looking at playing off minimaps, do you know the amount of times I've had arguments with people for not calling out what the fuck they've got, and they'll just be like, "Well, just look at your minimap."
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I know that.
Minimap much more than others. Like I played off my minimap like a motherfucker, but like I've also played without a minimap for 4 years. So communication's always been one of my like things where it's better. I know it was weird for me coming from hardcore to core.
When I first heard about it, I was very much I was thinking to myself, right, so if this is like on the pro level, then it's going to come down to communication. But I think a lot of people pointed out that if they feel like it's going to slow the game down because you don't know where anyone fucking is. So, I mean, there is, for anybody who didn't see it, there is a compass at the top of the screen. And if somebody's shooting, a red dot comes up in the direction that they are in. However, you don't differentiate at the moment between teammates
close and far,
teammates or enemies, as far as I'm aware. And there's been times when you're watching it where people are spinning, hearing somebody there, and it's like, shit, that's a teammate. So that might not even get fixed with being able to see people through walls, your teammates through walls, because if they're behind you, you can't see them. And you're not going to be able to see in your minimap that it's them.
So what I liken it to is I play a good amount of Rainbow Six.
Yeah, there's none there.
And there are, and even like, because I don't know a lot of the call outs, don't get me wrong, I'm no good player. It's more to do with the fact, like, sometimes I don't know where people are. Like, I don't know who's got my cross or who's got my cut because I don't know where that player is. If someone's near me, I don't know exactly where they are sometimes, even though I can see them through the wall and sometimes I can see roughly their direction and stuff. So it is. I can see the problem with it. It does mean that communication is going to have to be different, but there is, confirmation that the minimap's in comp. So I don't know. It's mental, right? It's in comp. It's not in pub. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say until we definitely know what the lay of the land is. Like,
it's this guy in the chat. Halo and Gears don't have many maps of Gears. It literally is just.
Halo has a radar.
Halo definitely does have a radar.
Halo has,
and it's also a slower game.
Did Halo?
You have a shield in Halo. You have a literal shield. So your games run a bit slower.
Yeah,
in terms of the TTK and stuff.
Yeah, there's positives and negatives to it. I think a lot of the community, competitive specifically, seem to be like, "Oh shit, yeah, you need a minimap." I was always sort of on the fence, whereas I think people would get used to it.
I mean, surely you wouldn't be able to press pause and fucking look at the map anyway, the overview, surely.
No
idea. Like S&D or something like that. You need to quickly check where everyone is, just quickly hit a pause, or even on domination, if that's a competitive game mode, press pause quickly.
Honestly, not sure.
See where everyone's set up,
I'm looking forward to testing it.
I mean, I used to do that on fucking, I still do that, actually. Not in this game, because you have to press R1 or something like that, but I always used to press pause.
Yeah, I used to do it all the time as well. All the time. I'm just trying to, because we're going to be talking about...
I'm going to end the questions, right? We'll put a pin in that, because we don't know yet. Let's go into questions. Scraps, by the way, hello Scraps, welcome to the chat. Is Jay making a return? I don't know what that means.
It means he's talking about me, because he calls me Jay, because he's a fucking real one.
No,
I will be. Game was just a bag of toenails after I didn't qualify for the league, so I wasn't going to waste my time playing at those AM events. I'll most likely come back and see what I can do next year. Most likely we'll be in the contender league. Won't be in a pro league until I prove myself again.
Fair enough. Is 5v5 confirmed? At the moment it is. We obviously talked about 6v6 earlier just because we were kind of being hypothetical. As far as I know, yes. So I can answer that one.
Haven't been told otherwise at this point, so...
Yeah. Thoughts on the rumored comp game modes being Hardpoint, S&D, Domination, CTF, and Infection?
See, this was
I don't like Domination. I don't like Domination. I don't like it.
It can be too campy. But there was a game mode last night that I did like the look of, personally.
What was that game mode called?
Cyber Attack or something, wasn't it?
Cyber Attack.
Man, that looked well good.
It
was like
that looks like a laugh.
Like, if any of you didn't catch it, it was essentially like Sabotage. You got two. They weren't bombs. They were like electronic devices, some shit. Something you got to attack, plant something at. There's a bomb in the middle. You know, pick that shit up and take the enemy's bomb, whatever the bollocks it is, and you have to plant it like Sabotage, exactly like Sabotage, but you only have 5. It's like S&D. You only have 1 life per round. So it's like a S&D Sabotage.
I like it. I want that as a game mode.
And you can revive your teammates as well. I fuck with that big time personally. I mean, look, fuck, it might play as shit. Don't get me wrong, but from an outside point, watching it, I was like, "What? This seems good. Like, I like it." I don't know, when we get into the game, some people might sort of figure out some problems with it, but I mean, for me, I thought it had potential, 100%.
Yeah, I prefer that to Domination. I'm not the biggest Domination fan, and I'll tell you why. I always thought it rewarded, like players can just camp and just hold off a bomb point, or they can just throw lethals at it, or it also splits up the players. So instead of like concentrating on the action in one point of the map, imagine being Paradox the Observer, right? You've now got to watch like 4 different engagements going across in 4 different parts of the map because these players have split up. Because sometimes you can't just hit B, you have to like flank, or you have to go around, and then some players are going to be trying to pull them both ways. It's engagements in different parts of the map. Imagine trying to explain that to a casual. I know Domination is the most played game mode in COD, but it's not played for the objective. It's played because there is an obvious battle line, which is very important in casual Call of Duty. Because a battle line is allowing the players to not have to worry about their own back and figure out where they have to go to get into the fight. Domination provides that very, very easily. So it's the most played casual game mode after TDM. It's not the same in comp. It just isn't. So I'm not the biggest fan of Domination for a comp game mode. I know the arguments for it. I still disagree with them.
We played it in
love
Mod
comp
2.
Domination because you find out real dumb fucks when they're trying to do math real quick. It's always fun.
Yeah.
We played
Also,
it
the
in
math.
Mod 2.
The math is not good to watch.
Was it Mod 3? We played it at the beginning. I remember playing it competitively at a Reflex event.
Playing Ghosts. Ghosts had the worst game modes of any recent bloody thing.
I mean, I didn't mind Domo on Ghost.
Hated it.
You always had those sneak plays, and break-offs meant so much, and then like I didn't mind. There was a lot
I don't
more
hate
to it
it,
than
but
it
I
meets the eye,
don't love
man.
it.
Domination has a lot more to it than it actually meets the eye.
I just don't like it. I don't think it's a good watch. I don't think it's great for it. And PE, you're wrong. I'm sorry, mate. I love you, PE, but
bring back War from World at War. That's what I say.
I think.
What a game mode.
I mean, obviously it's a ground game, so uplink's not a better thing. I think CTF, if the maps are right, is good. I don't know if they will be, but with the speed thing going on, that could be a kind of an interesting thing going forward. Control, I don't mind. I like Control.
I like Control.
The other game they're talking about is Infection. I don't even know what Infection is.
Like a donkey dick.
That's not that bad.
Bruh, you can't even pick what side you want for fucking defense or attack.
No. Okay, it has its flaws, but as
like,
a game mode itself, it's not bad.
It all goes into itself. I'm game mode. Would rather play Gridiron.
What is Infection? I don't even know what Infection is.
I wouldn't even know.
I swear that's a game mode where you like get infected and you start shanking man up.
Yeah. That can't be a comp game mode. That must be Troll.
If any new game mode was to be competitive, I think it has to be Cyber Attack, surely.
Yeah, I think it'd be Cyber Attack.
Seems like the one that makes sense. It's not too.
Get me in the Cyber Attack.
Everyone absolutely loved Sabotage back in the day, but it took forever, so we couldn't play it. I was actually playing Sabotage this afternoon in Modern Warfare 8 on Overgrown, and it took 45 minutes for a map.
What, is everyone back on that?
Infection is back with CTF. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at Infection.
So you've got to take your flag from your base, and you've got to get in the enemy base. It's
it's the uplink.
That is literally uplink.
I don't know.
Uplink. What is that? Blitz. Fuck.
Yeah.
Blitz.
I think Blitz.
Yeah. We'll move on. I don't like Blitz either. The Blitz.
Someone trap the fuck out of people while you just got one guy just running back and forth.
I said Domination is bad. I would still rather play Domination than Blitz.
Yes.
What terrible game Blitz was.
Domination isn't bad.
All right, we'll move on. We'll move on because we've got to get through so many more.
Wait, what do you mean, bro? I need to go to the shop, cuz.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to do, mate. And you're longing out the Domination conversation.
Forehead.
One dev said comp will have a minimap because they want pros bitching for a year. No, that's probably true. What is the best thing you've seen from the reveal? And what is one thing you'd like to see changed apart from the minimap? The best thing I saw from the reveal was probably when it got close quarters and it did look very, very much COD. That was the best part for me. I think it was... Huh?
I was just saying I didn't watch it, so I don't have a best part.
I said to you when we were talking about the game and he hasn't even watched it.
Of course I watched it, man. It's a big lol. Jokes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
My biggest takeaway and positive from the reveal was the pace. In general, it looks slower, and I am heavy fucking with it being slower. 100 million, 10%.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Tunn there. I prefer slow-paced game mode, so 18-year-olds can't just sit there whacking a 12-inch on my head.
The one best thing I would have liked to seen changed, and I'm actually going to be a bit cheeky here. What I would have liked to have seen changed at the reveal is pros playing it.
Yep.
And that's just a selfish thing. I can't tell how the game kind of plays until I see the actual team.
I've seen people
going
on
at it.
Reddit were talking, saying, "Oh, the fluidity of the game just doesn't seem as good." But it's nobody.
These players aren't pros, man. Pros play
and
differently.
for one, they
Like
play
literally a bunch of tunnies on the fucking main stage last night.
and a lot of them like played it for 2 hours. Like you're not going to be like used to the game by that point. So
Fucking bunch of tunnies running around.
bunch of
Great.
tunnies, yeah, a bunch of good-looking bastards. That's what you just said.
Will there be an esports reveal this year?
No.
I think you're wrong. I think what we're going to see is a massive PR press push after champs about the franchise, about the rules, about how it's all going down, and then they'll show out some cool comp things. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, maybe Gamescom. Maybe they throw a big thing out there.
I thought you meant as in like a reveal of what the comp's going to look like. I don't think we'll.
Oh, the push is going to be massive. It's franchising year, baby. They're going to throw some serious shit behind it.
How much did that one franchise spot go for? Like over 60 million?
Yeah, that's what they said anyway.
If they're not fucking pushing it, I would be so disappointed in them, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be big.
Well, they're doing it right. Let's
Sorry,
fucking go.
I had in my head that they were doing a reveal of like league play and stuff like that. I don't think they'll have that until like franchising is like good to go, that sort of shit. So.
Oh, could you imagine this year? Say they can't fill the last 4 spots up or whatever spots it is.
I heard they're full.
Oh, they are. They're all done.
I don't know. I thought so.
Emotions probably because
It'll be fun.
Hasn't the date like passed for like people?
Oh yeah, like those franchises have got to be locked in now.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're ready for announcement or whatever yet.
I'm a bit confused because no one's approached me with a fucking job offer. How dare they all? Who do they think they are? I'm sorry.
Thoughts on doors? I don't mind them. You can blow them up. You
that.
can kick them open. You can quietly.
When I said I didn't watch drinking, right? Yeah, doors. Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, they seem fine. They are loud though. They are loud. Is it an episode of Spitfire? Brice hasn't gone a rant. Yeah, it's just a poor one. Any other questions? I don't think we're good. I think we are good. All right. Well, that has been Spitfire talking about the Modern Warfare release. Lots of topics, lots to cover. I think we got through the majority of it. I can't think of anything else. Really, any last points?
What, on the game?
On just in general.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for the beta. Hashtag my year. Hashtag 2020.
Hashtag hire Reedy GM.
No, not even hire me, man. I'll be fucking S&D.
S&D coach of the year, Reedy 2020. Bringing it forward. Tunn?
Nothing particular from me. Next week we are going to have a pre-champs episode.
Can I come on?
Right, are you going to like check who's actually playing in these things?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I know Optic are there. I know United are there. They won the last event. Shit. I know FaZe are gonna be there. Let's fucking go, man. FaZe the fuck up. Yeah, no, of course I know.
Anyway, so we're gonna have that next Wednesday. I do.
Are we?
Yeah, well,
stop. Question mark.
Yeah, well, that's what we were gonna discuss.
No.
Because I want to do it at Champs.
Oh, how dare you! You better get me a flight out there right now.
I know, but like if we were to do an episode next
week,
week,
hold on, 7th. Put it towards EGL. I've been on enough fucking episodes this year. Get me a fucking flight right now.
What I was gonna say is that if we can come, well, when the fuck are we gonna have time to do that?
Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday we've only got rehearsals. What else are we gonna do? Oh, we've got. Look, we can do it Tuesday. Look, all right. Here's the thing.
Talking about it, you're closing up the fucking.
I know. All right, Tunn. Any last?
Right, okay, so if we will decide what's going to happen, hopefully we're going to have a Champs episode next week. If not, it's because we've managed to sort something out. I want to say I want to try and get an episode in next week before Champs. But,
yeah, we will, yeah. There'll be an episode next week.
Yeah, which we will probably end up covering Champs because it will probably be hard to actually find all the shit that we need to find to actually stream it. And big shout out to all the viewers because we have actually hit 5 million views on the EGL channel.
Lol. Yeah, right. EGL better get me a flight to Champs now.
But yeah, that's it from me. Apart from this will be on the YouTube, of course, within the next few hours /in the morning, and we'll be back next week.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. Regardless of what happens next episode, we will still be here next week regardless. The topics will, of course, depend on what we decide. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, if you're on the YouTube, leave some comments. I do usually go and read most of them. Sometimes you slate us. Sometimes you love us. Sometimes that's just how it is. I probably won't be wearing a hat again.
Thank God.
But, it is a scuff hat, so use code Brice for 5% off. And that has been Spitfire. We will see you next time.